Today on Teuty's track analysis, we have the track of the day for July 21st, Backstage by Zeemuis. Backstage is a multi-route track with the normal route being mixed surface, containing the surfaces road, dirt, plastic, grass, and sausage. There is a GPS for each route as well, and the GPS for the normal route drives a 57.771, and this is the same as the author medal time. The normal route on the track does not contain any speed checks, and currently I do not believe there are any cuts on this route. And to end off the normal route, there is just a single finish line. As for the difficulty of the normal route, I found it significantly easier than the alternate route, and I would rate it a 3 out of 10. Of course, the medal times are going to be the same for each route, and the limited amount of time I spent on the normal route, I found it significantly harder to get the author medal time, finishing with a 58.356, which is about 6/10 slower than that author medal time of 57.771. If you are going for a gold medal or lower, I would suggest the normal route. The secondary route on the track, called Backstage, is in the style of an RPG, and it has the surfaces road, plastic, grass, water, and sand. It also has one effect block being Super Turbo Boost. The GPS for the Backstage route drives a 54.744, and this is over 3 seconds faster than the author medal time. This Backstage route is basically the complete opposite of the normal route when it comes to speed checks, as the entire thing is basically one large speed check. And currently I do not believe any cuts on this route have been found. And to end off this route, we are using the same single finish line that the normal route uses. As far as the difficulty goes for the Backstage route, it is definitely much more difficult than the normal route, and I would rate it a 7.5 out of 10. Even though the route is much more difficult, if you take this route, the author medal time is much easier to get. I got it with this route with my time of 57.582, which is about 2/10 faster than that author medal time of 57.771. I quite like the concept of the track and found the RPG route to be extremely fun, but I found the normal route to be rather boring. I'm also not the biggest fan of the two routes having such an extreme time gap between them, with the RPG route saving probably over 3 seconds. With that said, I would still rate the track a ++. For the analysis today, we will not be going over the normal route because I could not find a good ghost for that, and since I don't have the author medal time for that route either, you're better off just watching the GPS. But for the Backstage route, we are using the current world record ghost driven by Novastar, and they had a time of 53.864. There will be no comparison with my personal best with this route either, because my personal best is nearly 3 seconds behind, and it seemed a little bit pointless. To start out here, we need to drive over to the right just a little bit and then bring it back towards the left. If you try to jump straight down this hole and then turn to the left later, you will not be able to make the jump. But as we're leaving the ramp here, steering a little bit towards the left because you want to land at about a 45-degree angle on this plastic. After we land here, we just got to make our way up this blue ramp here, and then we got a small left-hand turn before we get another jump. Some tips here for this jump: I would suggest landing here as wide as possible to make it a little easier. We'll see the world record here break as they land as well to drift around this corner. This corner here is extremely important, and I feel the world record got a little bit lucky here that their tires did not clip on the edge here. If your tires do clip on the edge or you hit the right-hand wall, you are just not going to be able to make this next jump. If you do clip or hit the wall, you're going to have to respawn the checkpoint to gather enough speed to make this jump properly, and we'll see them get the downslope of this ramp and then jump back over here a little bit towards the right to land on this platform. After landing here, you also want to try to avoid hitting this left-hand wall. If you do, you might still be able to carry enough speed to take this small alternate path to gather enough speed to make the next jump. Of course, though, the more speed you have, the earlier you can make this jump, and that means the earlier ground contact you can get to gather more speed. Then next up, we have this half pipe jump here through the checkpoints. You got to be very careful here not to jump too far, because again, hitting this right side wall here is going to be very detrimental to your speed and your ability to make this jump. Though if you do hit the wall, you can slow down a little bit to take the flatter parts here and then make the jump that way. Of course, this is going to be much slower than just a direct jump over. Of course, the world record is going to have enough speed to completely clear that jump though, and then here for this corner, we're going to have to do a little bit of drifting to get around it properly. As we get towards the exit here, we're going to be doing a bug slide on the jump down, so we're going to be turning hard towards the left, landing completely sideways, and to do the bug slide, you're holding gas, brake, and turning left all at the same time, and this should give you a very tight spin around. Hopefully that bug slide lines you up well to get into this tunnel area here, and we just got a little bit of weaving around these blocks. Then on the exit, we have a water bounce onto penalty sand, and hopefully once you hit the penalty sand here, you can get a little bit of a bounce to try to skip over it as much as possible. Then after that, we got a pipe here. We just have a tiny tap towards the right when you're on it. And then after the pipe is over, we have a hairpin turn here, drifting extremely aggressively to basically do a complete 180. Then right after this right-hand turn, we have a left-hand turn, and you need to get over to the left very early here. If you do not get over early, you are probably going to get airtime while going down this ramp, and that is going to give you an extremely poor setup for this upcoming jump and right-hand turn. But here we'll see them go up the ramp. We're going to purposely hit the ceiling here in order to get a quick turnaround, and then once we land back down, we're just driving over to the left to get to the finish. So quite a unique track today, having multiple different routes. I wish I was able to do an analysis on the normal routes, but again, unfortunately, I do not have a good ghost for that, and I was not able to drive the author medal in the amount of time I had to drive it. And I would much rather not do the analysis on that route with a bad ghost and give bad advice. But hey, I hope you found something helpful today or enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to like it and subscribe. There is a link to my Discord in the description if you're interested in that as well. But thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys on Monday for the next one.